the book of Habakkuk, depending on who you ask. And I'm quite sure there's some other ways that it's been pronounced. But when we talk about this book, there are a lot of things we need to look at. The first one we want to kind of look at, remember we were talking about Jeremiah and the promise of captivity that we spoke about last week and previous weeks. Now, if you come to the book of Habakkuk, we have to kind of understand that this is the point where the instructions or what's going to happen to them is going to take place. Mm-hmm. Because in the first chapter, which it kind of skips here, Judah and Israelites have been just kind of still going on. Even after Jeremiah has warned them about what is to come. Mm-hmm. They are still just not listening. Mm-hmm. Now, the prophet Habakkuk finally says, you know what, God, what's going on? How long is this going to last? How long is this burden of them just acting, up going to last? And why haven't you done anything about it? Sort of like us when when we're in prayer about someone or something. We ask the question, how long are we, going to be in this, situation? Either, money is tight, kids acting up, adults acting up. We're asking this question, how long, God, are you going to allow us to be in this overall situation? Now, the funny thing about it is that sometimes when we ask the question, how long, or God, what are you going to do about it? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the answer that we want to hear is the answer that we don't get.
That's right.
And in fact, in this situation in chapter 1, it is the fact that God says, I've heard your prayers. But then he says, I'm going to send someone or something that is totally not in line with what you think. Now, sometimes it's funny when we have a loved one that's on their deathbed. We're praying to God and asking God to step in and heal them, let them have a good recovery. But what happens? They pass away.
Sometimes.
Okay, sometimes. Or they get worse. But in this scenario that Habakkuk is looking at, it's the worst of all possible scenarios. Mm-hmm. He did not just send them into captivity. He sent them into captivity with the worst bunch of people ever when it comes to wars. The Chaldeans were known for their war-like tactics, and they were known that they didn't just kill the soldier. They killed the soldier, his horse. And if they could, they would kill the soldier's family too, all at the same time. This is just how bad they were. So Habakkuk is saying, now, wait a minute. Now, we're already acting a bunch of fools. We're already in trouble as it is right now. And you're going to send those guys?
Well, didn't they send somebody because they destroy everything.
Yes. And that's the catch. They were expecting for God to okay, we're going to round everybody up.
Yes.
We're going to take them over to Babylon. We're going to put them here and have a good time. You're in prison. Da 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 da. We're gonna, we're gonna live in, live in Judea, the southern land.
Mm-hmm.
But God said no. When I come through, and remember what Jeremiah said, we're gonna clean house from top to bottom.
Yes.
This is what Habakkuk could understand. Yeah, God, we're acting a fool, but it's sort of like get to the point where it's now tough love. You've told your child, don't do this. You told your child, don't do this. You told your child, don't do this. Now get out.
Mm-hmm. But what I didn't seem to understand, they sent
Chaldeans?
yeah, they sent someone in there and they killed all of this. They stock and
Yep.
and all of this. They killed everything.
Yeah.
But yet and still, they saved one messenger each time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they killed something, they would send a messenger back and say what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So why did they save the one messenger?
Because that I don't know. I don't know the full understanding why.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, they say the messenger. It is to tell the story.
Yeah, because it was 4 messengers.
Mm-hmm. To tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is happening is that in order to begin anew, sometimes you have to clear out everything. And remember, who from Moses and the children of Israel, who from them continued on after spending 40 years in the wilderness? Remember, when they left Egypt and they kept acting up, what happened? They were sitting in the woods for 40 years. Mm-hmm. So those who left Egypt never saw the promised land. Mm-hmm. So God took them all out, except for a few. Mm-hmm. Now we're at Habakkuk, and what's happening again? He takes the people, he puts them in captivity, and he wipes out all the physical things. Mm-hmm. So this is the point we're looking at right now for where Habakkuk is coming in chapter 2, now saying, okay, what's going to happen? Chapter 1 says, has him crying out. He has the Lord's reply, what he's going to do. Habakkuk asks God another question. And so now, for the second question in chapter 2, Habakkuk now is starting out saying, I'm going to sit in the watchtower and watch and listen for God's answer. So, when we as individuals try to get ahead of God and expect God to do what we expect. See, Habakkuk and this is how we all have. We have some kind of expectation of God. When God does something that is not expected, we're thrown off. We're totally confused. And what's the first thing out of our mouths? Well, you're supposed to be a loving God. You're supposed to be this kind of God. We are expecting God's expectation to fit our expectations. And what does God say? My ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. Paraphrasing. So we have to remember that God does not answer to us. And God, in his own way, does certain things. Why would you, and I'm putting this in human terms, what reasonable person would send their child to die for somebody they have no idea who they are? Now, we as human beings would think that as unreasonable, right? Well, God said, no, it's not unreasonable, because Adam messed up. The only way to fix this is to have a second Adam, which is Jesus Christ, who now takes away the sins of Adam and takes them on himself. So when we look at the first chapter of Habakkuk, it is a situation where God doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense at all. But in the end, what happens? It made sense. All right? Okay.